Welcome to Public Pālikā. Public Pālikā, architecture of a lifeconomical democracy. In every democracy, there comes a time when systems must be reimagined, not just repaired. We are living in such a moment. The distance between governance and everyday life has grown so vast that politics often feels alien to the people it claims to serve. Budgets are drafted far from the neighbourhoods they impact. Policies are debated in assemblies, but rarely in the courtyards and street corners where life actually unfolds. If democracy is to remain a living project, not merely a ritual of representation, then its architecture must evolve. Public Pālikā emerges from this necessity. It is not a party, a protest, or a populist campaign. It is a proposal to build a fourth pillar of democracy rooted in economic participation, ethical decentralisation, and personal sovereignty. At its heart lies a revolutionary rethinking of who governs, what is governed, and why governance exists at all. This chapter lays the foundation. Before we move into policy structures and fiscal models, we must begin at the beginning, with a philosophy of selfhood and society that honors the dignity of life. For any architecture to endure, its ground must be solid. That ground, for Public Pālikā, is a life-centric worldview called Ihloktantr. Etymology of Ihloktantr. The word Ihloktantr is a compound Sanskrit neologism composed of three parts. Ik, ihya, meaning here, in this world, or in this very moment. It connotes the immediacy of existence, the present life as distinct from past or afterlife speculations. It is the realm of the living, the now. Lok, meaning world, realm, or universe. It refers both to the subjective world we inhabit and the objective reality we collectively experience. In Vedantic and yogic traditions, Loka is often both psychological and cosmological. It is the space of perception shaped by consciousness. Tantra, Tantra, meaning system, framework, or mechanism of expansion. Derived from the root tan, to stretch, to extend. Tantra in philosophical usage implies a woven structure or governing principle. It is that which holds together the parts of a whole in functional cohesion. Definition Ihloktantr can thus be understood as the conscious system of self-governance that arises from one's own lived world, here and now. Or more expansively, Ihloktantr is a philosophical framework that treats every sentient being as the architect of their own immediate universe, Alok, and proposes a democratic structure, Tantra, grounded not in abstract authority, but in the lived realities of existence.
Philosophical implication. In this view, each person is not just a unit in a census, but a creator of meaning, a Brahma, of their own loka. To govern, therefore, is not merely to rule others, but to take responsibility for the world one creates through thought, action, and perception. In this ontology, the other is a concept within one's consciousness, not a sovereign separate reality. If all persons are equally Brahma to their own loka, then no one holds epistemic or moral authority over another. Thus, equality is not merely legal or social, it is metaphysical. By rooting democracy in Ihloktantr, Public Pālikā proposes a model where governance must begin with the self, radiate into community, and remain accountable to the lived experiences of individuals, not just abstract collectivities or bureaucratic charts.
Ihloktantr as the philosophical ground of Public Pālikā. What if the world you see is not the world itself, but a world made through your seeing? What if every human being is not merely a citizen of a state, but the Brahma of their own loka, the divine architect of a unique, conscious universe? This is not merely metaphor. It is the founding vision of Ihloktantr. Ihloktantr, or this world governance, begins from an ontological observation. Each person lives within their own constructed world of perception, memory, experience, and imagination. What you call the other is, at its deepest level, a modulation of your own consciousness. As Advaita Vedanta reminds us, there is no second. All multiplicity is Maya, a projection arising from the undivided self. From this vantage, democracy is not simply a matter of voting or representation. It is the sacred art of honoring each being as a sovereign world maker. If every individual is a Brahma, then democracy must be the collective dance of Brahmas, each shaping, participating, and respecting the imagined worlds of others. In this way, true equality is not statistical, it is ontological. Public Pālikā emerges as the institutional body of this vision. If every person is a world, then governance must become the interface of worlds. It must not homogenize or dictate, but coordinate the rhythms of life from within. This is the heart of personalized democracy. And Lifeconomics provides its pulse, an economic system that prioritizes sentient needs over abstract aggregates.
The following sections explore how this philosophical foundation translates into political architecture. Organizational structure, a three-tiered symphony. Public Pālikā structures itself along the natural gradients of India's federal system, mapping governance across three levels: constituency, state, and national. Each level is designed not merely for administrative ease, but for life-aligned responsiveness. At the constituency level, every public Pālikā is constituted by three streams. 1. Elected members, MPs, MLAs, mayors, ward representatives. 2. Community representatives, individuals from local unions, associations, cooperatives, and interest-based collectives. 3. Public participation, digitally enabled, ground-anchored platforms for registering local demands, grievances, and initiatives. This layer is not a junior version of government. It is the beating heart of the people's economic will. Here, Lifeconomics manifests through demand mapping, participatory budgeting, and localized allocation of public goods. The economy begins not in Delhi, but in the neighborhood. At the state level, Rajya Pālikā acts as the nodal synthesizer. Delegates from constituencies join hands with state assembly members. Bureaucratic leadership is held accountable to the aggregated needs from below. This layer ensures harmonization across districts while preserving regional specificity. It corrects the top-down distortions of a centrally planned economy and prepares the way for equitable inter-constituency cooperation. At the national level, Bharat Pālikā emerges as a coordinating superstructure. It absorbs the budgetary surpluses and structural insights from Rajya Pālikās. It ensures national coherence without erasing regional autonomy. Here, fiscal policy becomes a rainfall phenomenon. National clouds arise only from local vapors, and they rain back through needs-based monsoon systems.
Operational design, from representation to demand. Public Pālikā. Its method is demand first, not supply driven. Its goal is not to assume what the people need, but to listen, aggregate, and act accordingly. This begins with open demand registration, where any citizen can submit needs via accessible channels, digital apps, community halls, or doorstep surveys. These are not mere suggestions. They form the basis of constituency-level micro-budgets. Demands are then clustered thematically into sectors: education, health, infrastructure, culture, livelihood. Expert teams, drawn from civil society and bureaucracies, help frame implementable projects. Each Pālikā drafts a budget that reflects this bottom-up priority list. The Rajya Pālikā then synthesizes these budgets, allocates state-level resources, and forwards consolidated insights to the national Pālikā. The center is thus no longer the fountainhead of money, but a balancing reservoir. In this structure, Lifeconomics becomes tangible. Instead of allocating money to ministries and hoping it reaches people, the economy follows the gradient of need. It decentralizes not just funds, but foresight.
The proposed impact, reclaiming the democratic promise. Public Pālikā is not a bureaucratic reform. It is a civilizational realignment. It aims to transform how democracy feels in daily life. Today, democracy is a noun. Public Pālikā turns it into a verb. Its impact will be multifold. Corruption will diminish because opacity will be replaced by traceable transactions. Dignity will rise as people see their tax returning as public services nearby. Efficiency will improve as duplication, leakage, and mismatch reduce. Civic confidence will return, not from slogans, but from tangible, local empowerment. More deeply, it will rekindle our ancient philosophical truths, that each being is divine, each desire sacred, and each society a field of dharma. Governance will no longer be a power play above us. It will be a conversation among us.
This is not a fantasy. It is a feasible dream, rooted in our deepest insights and now made possible by our technological evolution. And yet, the engine of this new order remains incomplete without a structural shift in how public money flows. We turn now to that essential mechanism, the rainfall model.